I stood in my bedroom staring at the ashes inside my trash can. 5 years of modeling work, professional photos, contracts worth thousands of dollars, reduced to burned scraps. The sharp, acidic smell of charred paper hung in the air, mixing with the expensive perfume my twin sister Maya always wore. "It's for the best, Olivia," my father said quietly, his hand resting on Maya's shoulder. "Your sister's therapy session yesterday. Well, the doctor said your modeling career is triggering her depression." I looked at Maya. She wouldn't look back at me. We were identical twins, but our paths had split long ago. I went straight into modeling after high school. She struggled with body image and insecurity. At 23, that gap between us had widened into something unrecognizable. "You burned everything?" I asked, shocked at how steady my voice sounded. "Even my backup drives?" "All of it," my mother replied from the doorway. "Maya needs a fresh start. Your success is complicated for her." Dr. Stevens suggested removing the trigger completely. I picked a half-burned photo from the trash, me on the cover of a local magazine. The edges crumbled to dust in my fingers. 5 years of work gone while I slept. "Did you at least save my contract with the LA agency?" I asked, already knowing the answer. "Cancelled this morning," my father said. "I called them as your manager. Told them you're taking an indefinite break for family reasons." Of course he did. He'd been managing everything since I started. My contracts, my finances, my choices. I'd been naive to think his control would protect my career. Maya finally spoke. "I'm sorry, Liv," she whispered. "Seeing you succeed where I failed, it feels like it's crushing me. Mom and Dad are just trying to help." I studied my sister, my mirror image in body but not in spirit. Where I saw opportunity, she saw competition. Where I built confidence, she built self-doubt. "I understand," I said softly, pulling out my phone. My parents visibly relaxed at my calm tone. They were expecting screaming, tears, maybe even a fight. What they didn't expect was the sound of my thumbs tapping across my screen. "What are you doing?" my mother asked, tension creeping back in. "Texting my friend Emma," I said. "She's a lawyer." Their faces tightened. "Did you know," I continued, "that destroying someone's professional property and contracts is actually a crime? Even if they're family." The color drained from my father's face. "Now, Olivia, let's not be hasty. We did this for Maya." "No," I cut in, still typing. "You did this to stay in control. Maya's mental health is your excuse." Maya stepped forward, confused. "Liv, please. I need this." "What you need is real therapy," I said, meeting her eyes at last. "Not parents who burn my career to make you feel better." Did Dr. Stevens actually suggest this? Or was that another lie? The guilty shift in my mother's stance was answer enough. "I thought so," I said, grabbing my car keys. "I'm leaving. Don't try to stop me." "Where are you going?" my father demanded, stepping toward the door. "To fix this," I replied, brushing past him. "And don't worry about my career. You just gave me something far more valuable than contracts." My mother's voice trembled behind me. "What is that supposed to mean?" I paused at the top of the stairs. "In exactly 6 weeks, everyone will." They didn't know I'd been preparing for this moment for months. Every time they managed my money, every time they used Maya's fragility to corner me, I collected evidence. The burned contracts were the final piece I needed. As I drove away, my phone buzzed nonstop. "Come home. We can talk. Think about your sister. Don't do anything foolish." What they didn't realize was that their night of destruction had given me everything. I pulled into Emma's driveway, already forming the plan in my mind. My parents thought they had ended my career. In reality, they had just started their own downfall. 6 weeks. That was all I needed. Maya sent one last text. "I never meant for them to go this far." "I know," I replied. "That's why what happens next isn't your fault." Then I turned off my phone and walked into Emma's house. They thought burning my portfolio would force me back under their control. Instead, they had lit the fuse on their own destruction. Emma's jaw dropped as I laid out the evidence. Photos of the ashes. Screenshots of threatening text. Recordings of meetings where my parents discussed controlling my finances. And security footage, secretly installed, showing them burning my portfolio. "This is seriously messed up, Liv," she said, gathering everything. "But why wait 6 weeks? We could file charges now." I opened my laptop and showed her my real plan. Because this is bigger than just me. I've been in contact with dozens of other models with similar stories. We're going public. Together. A collective exposé. And my parents just gave us the headliner. 3 days later I moved in with Emma and started working. Meanwhile my parents kept sending messages. Your sister hasn't eaten since you left. We did this to protect our family. Your modeling was tearing us apart. I forwarded every manipulative message to Emma. Maya sent her own. They're telling everyone you had a mental breakdown. Dad is calling your contacts to blacklist you. Please tell me you have a plan. Well, I had a plan. While my parents sabotaged what they thought was left of my career, I worked with investigators building a full case. Years of financial manipulation, contracts signed without my consent, money redirected under the manager label, all using Maya's mental health as leverage. 2 weeks later Maya showed up at Emma's door trembling. I went to Dr. Stevens, she said quietly. I showed her what they did. She was horrified. She never suggested anything like this. I handed her a cup of tea and watched her hands shake. They've been using your struggles to control me for years, I said gently. That's not love, Maya. That's abuse. I know, she whispered. Dr. Stevens helped me see that. She said she'll testify if you need her to. And just like that, the first crack appeared in my parents' perfect facade. They had always used Maya's therapy as a shield, an excuse for every controlling decision they made. But they never imagined her therapist would one day stand against them. By week 4 of my plan, everything was falling into place. A major online publication expressed interest in our collective exposé. 20 models sharing their stories of family exploitation with my burned portfolio as the lead narrative. The story was bigger than any of us expected. My parents must have sensed the shift. Their messages shifted from manipulation to desperation. Whatever you're planning, please reconsider. We can replace your portfolio. Think about what this will do to our family name. Maya, growing stronger in her own therapy, sent me screenshots of their panic. They had discovered the was documenting their financial dealings, and they were scrambling, badly, to cover their tracks. To late, Emma said, reviewing their clumsy attempts to hide evidence. We already have everything. By week 5, I received a cease and desist letter from a lawyer they hired. I forwarded it to Emma. She laughed so hard she nearly spilled her coffee. They were threatening to sue you for defamation. With all this evidence? Let them try. I sat in Emma's home office reviewing the final draft of the exposé. The publication verified every detail, interviewed the models and their families, and even gathered statements from mental health professionals about weaponized therapy. It was archived. Maya called that evening. They know something's coming. That's been making calls all day. Are you ready for this? I asked. Once the story goes live, everything changes. I'm ready, she said with surprising strength. Dr. Stevens says telling the truth is part of my healing too. At the start of week 6, I sent my parents one final message. You burned my portfolio to silence me. Instead, you gave me a better story to tell. Watch for it. Their response was immediate, predictable. Don't do this to your sister. But they were too late. Maya had already written her own contribution to the article, detailing how our parents used her mental health to manipulate both of us. Everything was set. In 7 days, the world would see the truth. The exposé dropped at exactly 9 de la mañana on Monday. Family control in the modeling industry, a collective expose. My face and Maya's, mirror images, led the article, telling 2 sides of the same story. By 9:05, my parents' phones were ringing non-stop. By 9:15, their social media pages were drowning in comments. By 9:30, local news outlets were requesting interviews. I sat in Emma's office watching the chaos unfold live. Within hours, the exposé went viral. 20 models exposing the same pattern of exploitation, our story lighting the spark. The footage of my parents burning my portfolio became a symbol of everything wrong with family management in the industry. Emma looked up from her laptop. Your father's lab firm put him on administrative leave. Seems destroying legal contracts and manipulating finances isn't a good look for a senior partner. My phone buzzed. Maya again. They were losing it. Mom's crying about the country club. That's threatening lawsuits. But I'm okay. I'm with Dr. Stevens. The esposa didn't use to expose my parents. It ignited a larger industry reckoning. Agency spoke out. Models came forward. The agency my father tried to cancel my contract with publicly supported me and announced new policies restricting family management. At noon, my parents finally broke their silence. You've destroyed this family. We hope you're satisfied with your revenge. And so with Emma. She shook her head. Still making it about them. No accountability. No remorse. That evening, Maya arrived at Emma's house holding a box. Found Tessa in their office before they could shred them, she said, pulling out folders of financial documents. We spread them across the table. The discoveries were worse than we imagined. Years of diverted payments, hidden accounts, opportunities they declined on my behalf because they didn't want me to independent. There's more, Maya said, voice steady. I'm pressing charges too. They've been taking money from my therapy fund to pay for their lifestyle. Dr. Stevens helped me trace it. By the end of the week, investigations began into family management practices across the industry. Models everywhere were demanding audits of their accounts. What my parents burned had become a rallying cry for change. Their last attempt at control came through their lawyer, a request for a family meeting promising to make things right if we retracted our statements. Maya and I sewed up together. My parents looked smaller, diminished. Their authority was gone. We can fix this, my father insisted, sliding a document across the table. We replace your portfolio. Set up new contracts. We step down as managers. This isn't about my portfolio, he said, rising from my seat. It's about years of control. Every contract you interfered with. Every dollar you stole. Every time you said Maya se alta as a weapon. Maya stood beside me. Every time you made us believe we were competing, when really, you were just controlling us both. We left them sitting there, cold, exposed, powerless. Outside, photographers waited. Not for scandal, but for our story of breaking free. A month after the expose, I was back in front of cameras, but not as a model. I stood on stages telling the truth about family exploitation. Maya stood beside me, giving voice to how families weaponize mental art to manipulate their children. Our parents faced financial, legal, and professional consequences. Their perfect image had burned as completely as my portfolio. They thought destroying your photos would make you invisible, Emma said before another speaking event. Instead, they made you unforgettable. Maya squeezed my hand. They tried to tear us apart. But they actually helped us find our real strengths. The last message I ever received from our parents read. We only wanted what was best for the family. I didn't reply. They never understood that their definition of family had been the problem all along. They tried to burn my future to control it. Instead, they sparked a fire that changed an entire industry. Maya and I walked onto another stage, no longer victims, no longer competing twins, but survivors, advocates, sisters united in truth. They tried to write our ending. Instead, they handed us our beginning.